The British Prime Minister is in a mess. A mess of his own making, by the way. You see, last week he announced early elections to be held in July, but clearly he ignored the mood of the voters. The Tories were 20 points behind the Labour to begin with. And now, here's another poll serving as a sad realization for Rishi Sunak. The thought of the Tories staying in power is even less appealing to voters than the prospect of Jeremy Corbyn entering 10 Downing Street was 5 years ago. You see, YouGov asked voters to imagine that the Conservative Party won the elections. The results were something like this. 59% voters would be dismayed or disappointed if the Tories remained in power after the 4th of July. 59%, more than half of the voters. They don't want Sunak at 10 Downing Street. Only 15% said they would be delighted or pleased. 15% said they wouldn't mind, while 11% did not know. Now, let me tell you what happened 5 years ago. Boris Johnson won a landslide victory against Corbyn. At that time, YouGov carried out a similar poll. 52% said that they would be dismayed or disappointed if Labour leader Corbyn won. 28% said they would be delighted or pleased, while 9% said they wouldn't mind Corbyn at 10 Downing Street. What I'm trying to tell you is that Sunak now faces worse odds at the election than Corbyn did in 2019. The polling results showing the mountain that Sunak has to climb to turn around the voter sentiment. That too in just 6 weeks. Even those who voted the Tories to power in 2019 are now abandoning the party. Only 38% of them would be happy to see the Tories re-elected this year. And even among those who plan to stick around, only 29% are in Sunak's favour, meaning the Tories are losing support, no doubt. But it is Sunak who is the least popular, it seems. And somehow he is still managing to disappoint the voters further. Case in point, his bid to reintroduce mandatory national service if he wins. This is the first major policy plan the man has unveiled since the election announcement. For those who might not be aware, national service was first implemented in the UK in 1947 by the Labour government. It was compulsory for men between the ages of 17 and 21 to serve in the armed forces for 18 months. They also remained on a reserve list for 4 years. This military conscription was struck down in 1960. A similar plan was introduced in 2010 when David Cameron became the Prime Minister. It was known as the National Citizen Service. It entailed encouraging 16-year-olds to take part in activities like outdoor education-style courses, but it did not include a military component. Now, Sunak is also planning something similar. What is his national service scheme? It's not that clear at this point. All we know is the proposed plan would require 18-year-olds to participate in some form of national service for a period of 12 months. They will have the option to apply for full-time military placements or spend one weekend a month volunteering in their community. The 18-year-olds can volunteer for 25 days over a year with organizations like the NHS, the fire service, ambulance, search and rescue, and critical local infrastructure. Labour lambasted the proposal as a desperate attempt. A Labour spokesperson, in fact, said that it's a $3 billion unfunded commitment from a Tory party which already crashed the economy. Another called it a half-baked gimmick. The Tories have announced several cuts to the British troops, by the way, and now they are looking for volunteers to fill in. Sunak is facing attacks from all directions. In a stinging critique of the Conservative Party's fortunes under Sunak, a Tory peer, Lord Goldsmith, said that Sunak has damaged the party almost beyond repair, and he will probably disappear to California, quote unquote, following the general election. What will Sunak do next? Is there any chance to sway the voters in his favour, or has that ship already sailed? To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.